and welcome back to Today's Gardener. On today's fun episode, we'll be taking this tomato plant here that I started roughly 2.5 months ago by seed. I've been pruning it, but I intentionally did not prune it so that there's two branches. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this second branch off and I'm going to make a second plant. Now I have two of these, so at the end of the day I will have four plants. I'm in zone 6A and I won't be planting stuff in the ground until around Mother's Day. So that gives me another month to get these tomato plants ready for the garden. As you can see, there's already a couple tomatoes on these plants. So they're looking really good and they're very healthy. And I plan on them staying that way. So for this project, you're going to need a couple of things. A couple of sticks to hold up this one when I repot it. I have these. You need string. I have clips. You use the Velcro tape, tomato tape, whatever you have handy that you're used to using, go ahead and grab them. And we're going to need worm castings. I'm going to mix the worm castings with the existing tomato plant, mix it in there, and I'm going to add some topsoil to the top of this to encourage more root growth, getting it ready for the garden in approximately 1 month. So let's get started. So just on a closer look here, I will be snipping this plant off right here. After I do that, I'm going to remove a couple of these branches, the lower branches. Once I do that, I may lose these tomatoes, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about these specific tomatoes right here, because this tomato plant is going to produce me a lot of tomatoes. I probably will have this tomato plant producing by the end of May, red juicy tomatoes. So once I snip that off and clean up some of the stems, I'm going to insert it into here, and the other one will go right in there. All right, let's get that done. All right, so as painful as this may look, I'm going to be very satisfied with the output of this tomato plant. So here we just start taking off the lower limbs. I'm going to remove these tomatoes. They will grow back. And just like that, we are ready to insert this into our pot. Just like that. I'm going to pack the soil tightly around. I'm going to take my stick that I've had prepared. I'm going to go ahead and put that all the way down to the bottom. Apply some clips to keep it secure. And when I'm finished here, I'm going to give it a good douse of water. And this tomato plant will grow like crazy this summer. Just going to take this off. There's no tomatoes on there. All right. And just like that, we have one tomato plant. Now, two tomato plants It is April 11th and sown 6A, and my tomato plants are looking great. So what I want to do, I've already mixed the worm castings in the dirt here, so I don't need to do anything with that. But since this one is 2.5 months old, I like to fertilize with worm castings once a month, and it's that time. So I'm just going to rough up the soil here, stir it up a little. All right, so then I take some worm castings there. I like to take about a cup. Just sprinkle it around and then work it around the old soil. I like to make sure there's no large clumps. All right, that looks good. All right, and once I have the worm castings blended in, I take some more soil that already has worm castings blended into it, and I'm just going to top this off, adding a little bit more soil, increasing the space where roots can grow. And then here is where I'm going to give these two plants a good watering. And these do not go to waste. I am going to feed the rabbit. These I'll eat. All right, let's give these a good watering. One thing I'd like to add is the time of day that I'm doing this. It's later in the evening. It's not a very hot, sunny day. These plants that I snipped off don't have roots developed yet. I definitely don't want to do it early in the morning so that they have to stay hydrated all day. I did it purposely in the evening so that they have time to root overnight, and I'm going to keep them in a shady spot in the greenhouse until I feel that the root system has developed well enough to handle direct sunlight again. As you can see, it's only been about 20 minutes since I've snipped these off the mother plant, and they've already started to wilt. But that's okay. They will come back. And that's why it's very important to do this in the evening so they can work all night to get some roots developed and start pushing water back through the plant. With only several months to grow, I find it in my zone the only way that I can get plenty of satisfaction out of my garden is starting my tomatoes early. Instead of waiting till middle of July, early July to get tomatoes, I should be getting tomatoes at the end of May, which to me is all worth it. The little extra time I put in to producing these 4 plants was very minimal to the production I will get out of them. Thanks again for joining us on today's garden. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, share it with a friend. Until then, on today's Gardener, we'll catch you on the next fun video. Get your tomatoes in the ground a little taller, a little stronger. You won't regret it. Get those tomato sandwiches on the table a little sooner.